year is 1941. World War II wages on the European and Pacific fronts, and President Franklin Delano Roosevelt is left with a grave decision. Should he approve the atomic program? After much deliberation with Vice President Henry Wallace, FDR finally ignites the program on October 9th under the leadership of the United States Army Engineering Corps. Although the United States was to take the leadership role, Canada and Great Britain would become pivotal collaborators.
For such an ambitious program, America needed collaboration from foreign geniuses, and so Britain and Canada created their own sect of the Manhattan Project, called Project Tube Alloys. But in 1943, this sect was absorbed by the U.S., and Britain was denied from any information from this highly classified project, and Churchill agreed with it.
While Project Tube Alloy slowly became one with the United States efforts, President Roosevelt went forward with appointing the leader of his atomic program. A major general at the time, Leslie Groves, was appointed the task of overseeing the project. Previously known for his leadership role in constructing the Pentagon, Groves was handpicked from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, promoted to Brigadier General, and officially began his work on the assignment on September 23, 1942, naming it the Manhattan Project, based off of the project's assumed headquarters.
Groves was a natural leader, and he had already undergone an important leadership role in developing the Pentagon, and FDR made a very decisive decision in selecting Groves, because the Manhattan Project needed a military presence. It needed a military organization because it was vital for America's success in World War II, and the military organization ensured that the Manhattan Project would succeed in its goals.
With Groves established as its overseer, the Manhattan Project quickly developed. Almost immediately, Groves created a construction plant suitable for the entire process in Tennessee. Groves was also responsible for resources both industrial and human. Gathering the necessary resources for the atomic bomb became easy as the plan became more evident, but choosing the right scientist to lead the project was another story. In the end, Groves made a critical decision in choosing physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer of Berkeley College, a controversial choice at the time.
The choice of Oppenheimer was a very risky decision by Groves, because Oppenheimer was known for his possible communist connections, but he really didn't have any major science accomplishments at the time. But Groves saw something in him. He knew that Oppenheimer had what it took to make history. He knew that Oppenheimer could succeed in something that no one had ever done. No one had ever even gotten close to doing. Because Oppenheimer was all over the place. He was a physicist, he was a chemist, he was a metallurgist, an ordnance, and he was an engineer, and he was everything. He was the one guy who had it in him, and Groves knew that.
Soon after Oppenheimer was appointed head of scientific research at Los Alamos Laboratory, many fellow scientists followed his lead in joining the cause, amounting to hundreds of thousands working on the project. While Oppenheimer continued planning construction of the bomb, Groves made yet another key decision in establishing the Combined Development Trust between the governments of the United Kingdom, United States, and Canada in June 1944 to procure uranium and thorium ores on international markets. This allowed the United States easy access to ores necessary to the bomb production, and in doing so the process only sped up. By July 16, 1945, the first testing of the atomic bomb was ready, titled Infinity. On a site approved by both Groves and Oppenheimer in the flat deserts of New Mexico, the first atomic bomb was dropped.
Nuclear fission is an exothermic reaction, and where the nuclei of atoms split, and the split creates a huge amount of energy. And in the Infinity test, it released an explosion equal to 20 kilotons of TNT, creating a large amount of radiation and glass as a result.
Trinity had been a complete success. Now, the decision to use the atomic bomb fell directly on President Harry Truman. The new president was aware of the ethical issues presented by nuclear assault, especially against civilians. However, with the Japanese showing no signs of surrender and the threat of losing even more American lives in a longer war, Truman authorized the use of atomic bomb against Japan, a decision that no one questioned at the time, yet many vile anti-Americans, who clearly know so much more about the issue than those actually living in the time period, who experienced the brutality of World War II, hold against the president today.
And now we come up to the grand finale. What the whole project had led up to, Truman deciding to drop the bomb. Many will call this decision unnecessary, brutal, but they're just wrong. This was vital beyond imagination. It saved many more lives than it lost. Because if Truman hadn't decided under pressure to drop that bomb, those bombs, we would have had a full-scale invasion of Japan. There would have been millions of lives lost. The island-hopping battles would have just been a prelude to this savage war. So Truman made the crucial decision to just end it. To use what our brilliant scientists had come up with.
On August 6th, 1945, the B-29 Fortress, Enola Gay, dropped Little Boy on Hiroshima, killing 60,000 instantly. Nagasaki would fall next on August 9th, 1945, with a death toll of 35,000. While the murder of many Japanese was committed, the war in the Pacific was over. Emperor Hirohito had surrendered, and thousands upon thousands of lives would be preserved. The Manhattan Project had completed its goal. The world was introduced to the atomic bomb, and the war was over at last.